out our top 10 power rankings, if you will. And I think while you and I both agree that it's ridiculous to do that before the season even starts, you go by the hype of everyone's off season or what have you, whatever. But they're fun to do, and they're fun for us. If you enjoy watching them, then we'll do them weekly because sometimes we have an hour to kill and we don't mind, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So after doing last week's list, I got a great comment from Chad Patrick, who we had, or I think I specifically said that the AFC is so much stronger than the NFC. He took exception to that and pulled out the last season's record. I think it was 39-40-1.
Yeah.
AFC versus NFC, and of course pointed out the last two Super Bowl champions have been NFC teams.
Very true.
And I grant him all that. He's obviously correct. It's not what we were saying. I think what we were saying is that the AFC this year, they went out in the offseason and they spent money and they really loaded up, especially the West. And that's why we just feel like the top of the AFC is so much better than the top of the NFC. I mean, when you get down to the lower tiers, they are what they are,
Yeah.
But those AFC teams, I think, have to fight through tougher opponents.
Yeah. So therein lies the problem, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I think, and that's also where they're going to have worse records. They're just going to.
Yeah.
So, having said all that, again, thank you, Chad, for the comment. We really, really appreciate someone who disagrees with us because really just want a conversation here.
Yeah. Yeah. We're dumbasses. We obviously put the Colts on the top 10 and they did not show up. And so, but first season game is really hard anyway, but you kind of get a feeling for these teams. And I think we've talked about this multiple times is first 4 weeks kind of gives you a idea of what's going on in the NFL. So
yeah, well, it used to be the first quarter of the season. We went back to it was 16 games and easy to divide up in quarters. That first quarter really told you who you were. But having said that, we're the guys with the expensive studios, the high production values, and the YouTube channel. So this is our list. But feel free to tell us how bad it is, how wrong it is, and we'll certainly take that into account. So if I can just briefly recap.
Yeah.
Last week's.
Let's go through this shit list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We had the Colts at number 10. Chad pointed out, he didn't say he's too polite. He was very polite. He didn't point out like you homer dumbasses. He should have, because I mean, honestly, we were waffling between the Colts and the Raiders, who put at number 10, and we went with the Colts because homers. Bought into the hype. Yeah, they're out this week. So at number 9, we had the Chargers. Number 8, we had the Packers. Number 7, we had the Broncos. Number 6, the Bucks. Number 5, the Ravens. Number 4, the Bengals. Number 3, the defending Super Bowl champion Rams. Number 2, the Chiefs. And number 1, the Bills. Right. That was last week. So we've had really after week 1, I don't think we got a whole lot of information. There were some statistical anomalies. You had, let's go back to those Colts for just a second, and we won't dwell on it, but you had a 350-yard passer and a 160-yard rusher,
right?
Over 500 yards of total offense, and you tie that ball game. But they weren't alone. The Broncos went up and down the field on the Seahawks, came away with a loss. I mean, the Bengals, kept moving until they threw an interception or whatever. I mean, teams statistically, failed to come away with the W. So I don't think we didn't learn a whole lot, except that these teams, they can be good, but you got to finish because it doesn't matter. Scoreboard is the only thing that matters, right?
Obviously. So in professional sports, there's no moral victories in professional sports. So, but you kind of understand and you kind of get where the team is and what's their identity. And that's what we're talking about the first 4 weeks is what the identity of the team is, who matches up well with who or whom, however you say that. But so just getting to know the teams. And so
Right.
we're making it a point to watch a lot of football. We don't do a lot of stat chasing. We try to literally watch the games and see how they're trying to attack the opponent and vice versa. So
Right.
I think that you kind of gain knowledge through the weeks. So
Yeah, I mean, as far as stat chasing, you can look on Twitter and look at CBS's stats that they'll randomly throw out there. The most worthless crap that I've ever seen. So you can get enamored by that stuff. It's fine. But whatever. I digress. So you want to jump into this or what?
yeah. So you want to start with 10 or
Number 10. Number 10.
so let's go with number 10. I think so. This is an agreed upon list that we've talked about beforehand.
And some compromises because you have some strong feelings about teams and I have some strong feelings about teams. So compromise between the two of us. I think if you were to put out a list and I was put out a list, they would look somewhat different, right?
Yeah, a little different. Not
Just a
so
little.
much. I mean, I think maybe ranking would be
Yeah.
the main
A spot
difference.
or two.
Yeah.
Spot or two.
So because you still have to rank these guys.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're both going with the pack this week as number
Yeah.
10. And honestly, man, it's because I think they had such a shitty showing against the Vikings that
Not unexpected, but it was a crap showing. It was a crap showing. Last week they were number 8. Last week they were number 8. We
they were
moved them
number
back.
8, so they dropped to number 10. And it's because the young receivers and Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to like him or really give a shit.
They probably don't like him. Let's face it, they probably don't like him.
Yeah. So
I think
he dropped a 70-yard bomb, right? And then it went right through the receiver's hands. And he's one of those kind of guys that will just never pass to the guy ever again. So,
Yeah.
But
I think they get Lazard back. And look, even them being in the top 10, well, face it, because there's a lot of crap in the NFL this year. They're in the top 10 projected upon. We know that Aaron Rodgers is going to fix this stuff. They play the Bears Sunday night. That's probably a get right game for them. Probably.
Yeah.
So we figured a solidly a number 10. You can't discount Aaron Rodgers. You can't. As much as you want to, you can't. He's that good. He's just that good.
It is what it is with him.
So, yeah, he floats that boat, right?
Yep.
So at number 9, we have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
Maybe somewhat controversial to some people. They lost last week. They lost against the Chargers. But look, we know the Chargers. That's one tough out, man. So I don't think that discredits them at all. They're still in a very tough division, but they're a very good team that are gonna beat up most lesser teams. But they're gonna have some tough teams to go through as their season goes on.
No doubt about it. And their defense showed up that week. Herbert's a really good quarterback, and he can snap one off at any time. We know that. The Chargers defense is really, really good. So it's hard and they can rush the passer. So that the Chargers is only going to get better and better. This is
I think Devontae Adams started to show up in the latter part of that game. So we know that the Raiders, I think they have a high upside. I think as we get later into the season, it's going to be harder to keep them in the top 10 because their record's not going to reflect it. But for right now, I think number 9 sounds like a good number for them.
Yeah, and again, to keep it close against the Chargers, and this is some foreshadowing, by the way, but they're a really good team, and I think they deserve to be on the top 10 list.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. So now this is kind of more me because I've been beating this drum. Number 7, number 7. No, we're number 8. Number 8, we have the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is number 7. Number 7.
There. Okay. That's number 8. Number 8.
Number 8. The Raiders, but okay.
The Raiders are number 9.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. So the Raiders are number 9. Bengals come in at number 8.
I mentioned we can't count. Yeah, go ahead.
Which I know you struggle with because of the interceptions by Burrow in week 1, and you're not wrong, obviously. But you got to give them some respect for their accomplishments last year. They should have an actually improved team not only the same team, but an improved team. It should be. I think that offensive line needs to learn how to work together better. They've got a retooled offensive line, and you can't allow 7 sacks. You know, you've got to clean that up. I mean, otherwise you might as well have the same offensive line they had last year.
Yeah, so their offensive line was so bad. So first of all, they cleared out the offensive line and completely rebuilt it. And TJ Watt was in the backfield so much that he tore a pec because there's just too much of getting to
throwing people out of his way.
So I do not believe in that offensive line. I know they completely retooled it, and you never know. So as we go through the season, usually they start to congeal, and
Yeah, there's going to be some units, both offensive and defensive units that are going to gel together. I think you saw on the Chargers when like first of all, like Khalil Mack and Bosa, when they figure out how to play off of each other, that's going to be frightening. So, but it's that kind of thing. You start to learn to play with each other. The Bengals will get it right. They got to get their protections down. They got to know their assignments. They are going to get better.
But they're still talented. Yeah, they're still talented. They should have won the game, to be honest.
They should have won the game. They should have. Didn't. So, whatever. So, number 7, this one, we dropped the Rams down to number 7. Opening night loss against the Bills. That was not pretty.
No. Stafford was pressured the entire game, which was crazy. So they're really missing Whitworth. And
their left tackle was a problem.
Yeah, you could really tell. And Cooper Kupp's going to still be great. He's going to get a lot of catches. He's probably going to lead. He's going to lead in every category like he did last year. Stafford's still pretty good. I mean, obviously a solid arm, but if he keeps getting hit like this, it's going to be a problem. And the defense, Jalen Ramsey, as good as he is, he gets burnt like almost every game now.
And he got burnt bad.
Yeah. So I just feel like, man, they're not as good as last year. And I don't know if their hearts are in it, because once you get that taste of it's like, we already got a ring. So and maybe that could be, that could be just me, but
I don't know about that. I mean, I see these guys are coming back, and they were embarrassed, and rightfully so. They were embarrassed.
Yeah, they should have been.
Like, this week, I forget who they're playing, but they're heavily favored, and I picked them to cover. I mean, who are they playing? I don't know. But I picked them cover because I think they're going to bounce back. They've got pride. They've got a good coach. Stafford is good. I'm a little bit concerned maybe about what's supposed to be tendonitis in the elbow, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really see any evidence of that in that game. I know because I have tendonitis in my left elbow. It's painful.
Yeah.
You can still use that arm, but man, it hurts.
Yeah. So it's just pain threshold at this point, right?
Right. Yeah. So, probably a little shot to the arm. I don't know, because you can still use it. You can still use it. It's not like it's severe damage.
Right. There's nothing you can do about it. So
no, not really. So the aforementioned Chargers, we have at number 6.
Yeah.
Man. So full disclosure, we're taping this late because we had other things to do in our life. We have a life, people. We have a life.
Kind of, yeah.
Not much. But Chargers played Chiefs on Thursday night. Obviously, Chiefs won, but Chargers looked damn good up until Herbert got they're calling broken cartilage. I don't know what the hell that means, man.
Yeah, so I think it's just a big strain in his, which sucks in the rib area. So.
Oh yeah.
Because especially when you have to twist and throw. But he still looked good, and
look at it.
They should have won. Let's be honest. They should have won. That's one of those wonky ones that they kind of dominated the game. We saw
definitely. I think they dominated in the first half in a big way.
In a big way. Still, second half. So people want to give Patrick Mahomes props, which don't get me wrong, he's great, but when the Chargers wanted to stop him, they kind of stopped him. So,
man, look, I'm a Mahomes fan, so I saw a lot of people agreeing with you on Twitter that hey, Herbert's going to get all the credit in a loss, and Mahomes going to take some crap. Did he make some bad throws? Yes. So what? It's the NFL, man. It's a lot. It's tough. Mahomes is the man until someone knocks him off.
I'm not saying he's not the man. I'm just saying, okay, you can look at it two different ways, because the one really bad throw that happened to Herbert, well, his receiver was tired as hell and went the wrong way, and then that just happened to be a interception for a touchdown.
Pick six, yeah, pick six.
Mahomes threw two possible pick sixes, and the guy couldn't catch the ball. Which if it was his dad catching it,
Senior Asante Samuel Senior's in the house, man.
It's house, especially if it's Peyton Manning throwing the damn ball.
Yeah, no shit. Asante Samuel. I felt bad for the kid because look, that was close. A lot of questions on the one whether it was or was not an interception. You and I think agreed when we were watching it that it was not. Saw the nose of the ball on the ground.
Yeah, but he should have caught it right away, and then
So it ended up that drive ended up being a touchdown, so that could have been the difference. Anyway, the Chargers played phenomenal, and just again shows you it was a phenomenal game to watch.
Yeah,
it just shows you how tough this West is. You don't want to play these teams, and that's just them beating up on each other. When they play other people like when the Chiefs beat up on the Cards last week. You don't want to see them outside of their own division, man.
No doubt. I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs. They're a really, really, really good team. We're going to get up to that, but I'm just saying, man, Chargers look really good too.
Yeah, absolutely. At number 5, we have your Vikings. I mean, you've been slobbering on this Scandinavian talk since the preseason. I mean, you're big into the Vikings this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a turnaround year. Last year, they were in a lot of close games, and that's kind of how it tends to go in the NFL is if you're in a lot of late game losses the previous year, it kind of evens out the next year. So I feel like they're going to be a pretty damn good team, and I have them winning the North, but I think they played solid, not great, but solid against the Packers. And that's the class of the NFC North. So to me, I just think they're going to keep rolling and have a good enough record to win the North. I'm not saying they're world beaters or anything, but they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough that you got to give them respect. That's why you moved them number 5 for this week. They might move themselves back out of that, but for this week, absolutely. They played a good game. Their defense was spectacular. They harassed Rodgers endlessly, especially in the second half. When the game started getting out of control and you knew that Rodgers was throwing, they really took care of their business. They played a great game, and took care of business at home. At number 4, we have the Bucks. We moved them back a spot because just didn't think that victory over the Cowboys was all that impressive.
No.
I think some of the things that we talked about, the questionable offensive line, that came home to roost. Micah Parsons was living in their backfield. They held Brady to just one touchdown pass, one interception, and the rest were field goals. They beat them 19-3, and I expected it to be worse than that, but Bucks just didn't show up that much.
Yeah, I see. To me, it's like the Cowboys' offense was so inept that it's hard to really judge because
even before Dak got hurt.
For sure. The first 3 quarters. So he got injured in the fourth, and then people are thinking that Cooper Rush is going to be this magical ointment on this team. It's like, no, you don't have the linemen, you don't have the receivers, you don't have what you should. And your defense is still pretty solid, and you have Micah Parsons, who's a beast. But I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with either team, obviously, but the Bucks just seemed again, Tom Brady likes to dink and dunk. I understand that, but nothing really came out that looked like 2 middling teams. So it'd be like the Vikings versus the Packers, honestly. Is kind of how it looked to me.
Yeah, middling is right. I think that's a good term. I thought the Bucks looked pedestrian when we kind of expected more. Now, you and I don't believe they're going to the Super Bowl this year. We don't believe they're going to compete for a Super Bowl this year. But they really looked middling. They didn't even look elite.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to. They're gonna, like everyone.
They got a tough test tomorrow against the Saints, who they've never beaten under Tom Brady in the regular season. So that's going to be tough.
That's their bugaboo. Yeah. But Brady does float some boats, so you got to give him respect up until you don't. You don't. Right. So at number 3, this was did we even have it? Yeah. Moving up 2 spots, we have the Ravens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of commentary about Lamar Jackson not taking off and running. I think he had less than 60 yards rushing, but he had 3 touchdown passes. He didn't need to run. And for him, I know ideally he wants to throw it because it's going to prolong his career. I don't care who you are, whether you're Josh Allen or anybody, you start running as a quarterback in the NFL, you're going to shorten your career by years.
For sure.
Years.
It's
so
been proven.
That's just what he wants to do, and good on him. 3 touchdown passes, wins the game. Now they beat the Jets, but they won the game. They did what they're supposed to do. I think it was a good game on their part.
Yeah, I mean, they held pat. So how many times have we seen, especially week 1, teams that should be way better that didn't do, they should have came out and did what the Ravens did, right?
Right.
Like, you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win. Let's fucking win, right? So
when you're supposed to win, you win. You take care of the business.
Yeah,
you're supposed to
take care of your business, man.
Yeah, and they did. A great job. I know you're with me on this. I want Lamar Jackson to have a spectacular year. I don't want to win the Super Bowl because I want the Colts to win, but I want him to have a spectacular year.
Yeah.
And I want the Ravens to be wondering, what the hell were we thinking, not paying this guy the previous summer when he was probably $50 million cheaper than what we're going to have to sign him right now. I want to eat crap, man.
Yeah, I wanted them to eat shit for not putting up the money and being like, okay, he's an MVP. He's a former league MVP.
He's an MVP, man. Pay your players.
Yeah.
To me, it almost seems like the Ravens have 1 foot in, 1 foot out on Lamar Jackson.
And I think it's mainly because of the running and injury factor, but
I think that's like, we just don't quite believe. That's the only thing that makes sense. Now, I know they offered him a fat number contract, but the guaranteed money was somewhere in the 130.
Yeah, I think it's 130 to 160-ish. We don't know the actual numbers, but yeah.
Right. But he wants more guaranteed money. I don't think you have to guarantee the whole contract, a whole $250 million. I don't know that he's that guy, but you're going to have to talk some serious numbers and show that you believe, because the 130 or whatever the hell it was, that's not showing that you believe in this.
Yeah, it's got to be like 200, right? I mean, you're giving Deshaun Watson 230. He's got to be at least 200.
You just gave Russell Wilson, who's in his 30s, you just gave him 165 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
You paid Kyler Murray guaranteed money. You're going to have to pay this, man. The longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. I mean, this is just a ridiculous thing. Yeah, it's almost like they're betting. It's almost like they're betting on him to get hurt.
Yeah. So like the franchise tag next year is what, 50 million or something?
Yeah. Enjoy that, man. Enjoy paying the franchise tag on this guy. And for 2 years, before then, he's a free agent, goes anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $100 million, and you don't even have him under contract.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't think this would have happened on Ozzie Newsom's watch when he was the general manager of the Ravens. I just don't think. Yeah. So at number 2, we got 2 teams that, everyone knows. And we believe that, maybe not you so much, but I believe these 2 teams could go either way. But we put the Chiefs at number 2 and the Bills at number 1. And the reason being, the Bills beat the defending Super Bowl champs.
That's the only reason.
It's the only reason, because it could easily be the Chiefs. I mean, these guys look as good as they always do. It doesn't seem like the loss of Tyreek Hill has hurt them that much. it's it's still going to factor, but they're the way they beat down the Cardinals was incredible.
Yeah.
Was incredible. And I know as much as you say that he could have had 2 pick-sixes against the Chargers, the fact is they won. The only thing that matters is scoreboard, man. The only
I
thing
get
that
it.
bottom line is scoreboard. These guys are good. They're going to be someone to contend with, and no lead is safe. No lead is safe with those guys.
I
think
get
they
it.
can score. I think they can score points quicker than any other team in the league.
Yeah, I get it. And I feel like it's always like, well, you're just hating on Patrick Mahomes. No, he's the best quarterback in the league.
He's the best quarterback in the league right now.
I have no qualms about that. And they may be the best. I don't think they're the best team in the league. Obviously, I think the Bills are a little bit better, edged just a little bit from the defense, because I think Josh Allen is more than capable of doing something in the playoffs. But he's the best quarterback in the league, and there's no shade thrown his way. He's amazing. But I just pointed out, so I'm playing devil's advocate on that particular game.
Right.
And we watched the whole game together, and we both kind of felt that San Diego should have won that game. And there's a reason, because one stupid throw kind of ended it, but the flow of the game was in the Chargers' favor. And I think that's kind of why I'm like, okay. And I'm not down on Patrick Mahomes or anything. This has nothing to do with that. He just got a little luckier, which is fine. That happens.
I think you need it. When we're talking that competitive, you're going to need some luck too.
Yeah. So it's going to go the other way one week for him, where he hits a dime right on a receiver and then he boots it up in the air. So that always happens, right? So it is what it is. So that's going to take care of itself. It's yin and the yang. But I just think the Bills are better all around. And
yeah, I see some secondary issues that are not as good as they've been in the past in their secondary, that they're going to clean that up to be truly elite. But I just don't. No one's better than them, top to bottom. No one's better than them.
Yeah.
I mean, even their new punter, replacing the punt god.
Yeah.
He looked good. So it's all well.
So and Von Miller, I mean, what a signing! Jesus. If he plays like that all the time, which he probably won't, but in big moments, he shows up, man. You can give him that.
That you're exactly right. And they're going to have some big games where he's needed.
Oh yeah.
And as you mentioned, he was huge against the Rams. Huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had the extra motivation of opening night, prime time, playing against his former team. They didn't want him, didn't want to pay him. He had a lot of motivation, but I think he can manufacture that motivation for any big game, if not for the entire season.
I agree. I think he looks very spry, and
he looks trimmer to me. I don't know.
He does. He looks trim. Great shape.
Yep. Remember, I think I mentioned we were watching that game that Von Miller looks skinny. As soon as I said that, very next play, sack. Like, whoa, okay, he's not skinny. He's still strong. I mean, he just wow.
Yeah, you were talking shit, and then I'm like, Von Miller just sacked him.
Yeah, incredible.
Other than his haircut, you need to get rid of that shit. I don't know what that is, but
what the hell is it?
I don't know.
It might be, because wasn't it an arrow pointing down? So it might be just saying "kiss my ass." It could have been
and it could have been talking to you because you were talking shit that game. So it could have been literally
just talking more towards the Rams than me.
No, it's probably you. I don't think he cared about the Rams. He's like, hey, what's this dude got to say from Austin? So Austin.
Okay, so there you have it. Didn't want to do this every week, but you know what? It's fun. I don't care. We all know these lists are meaningless.
Yeah, obviously. But if you guys like it, tell us, or disagree with it. Tell us.
I'll disagree.
Yeah,
you tell us who's what, who shouldn't be in there.
Yeah,
who should be here. And because I tell you what, one thing that you and I both struggle with, like man, okay, I don't think these teams should be in there. We're doubting whether the Bengals should be in there, whether the Raiders should be in there. And it's like, okay, but who else do you put in there?
Right.
We're struggling. So if you got some suggestions, be more than happy to hear.
Absolutely. And if you like it, continue to watch, please. But other than that, I think we're done here.
I think we're done here, man.
Yeah.